guys, Courtney from Simply Caravans. Just coming to you today with a Red Centre Tanami that's a custom build. So come inside and I'll show you how to use it. First step, this black switch here, it's your isolation switch. It will turn all of the lighting in the caravan on or off. That's the very first thing that you need to do when you come to your caravan. It's not going to isolate your fridge or your air conditioner. Okay, once we come inside, we'll just go to this end of the van. These little reading lights, they work simply by pressing it once for a blue light and pressing and holding for a white light. Then you just press it once more and it's turned off. You've got a pressure hatch above the bed. That's to create positive pressure going into the van. It's as simple as pushing up on it. That's going to allow the dust that's coming up from your car to not come into the van. It's going to create that positive pressure and not have the dust come through. You just pull it down when you're not travelling in those dusty conditions again, you're ready to go. I'll come back to that hatch in just a second. I'll come across to this side where I can use the window. So we've got 5 little catches on this size window, and you've just got to push out evenly with both hands until you hear that click and it's in position. You've got a few different levels of it, and then when you've come back in, just go past it and come back in again and make sure you lock those catches. You can pull down like so, make sure those 2 things have clipped in. Then you've got your fly screen, and if you pull it all the way up, you've got your nighttime blind, and it's pretty simple to separate it again. I'll just show you through how to use the Sirocco Fans. So they've got this little toggle here. You just got to release that so that you can move it and then lock it into position. You can then, they're multi-directional, you can choose where you want to have it positioned. And if you have a look, I'll just move it to this side. This bottom button here, that's what controls the fan speed. There's 3 speeds, and up here you've got a timer. So that's like a sleep timer that you can set. Make sure that you travel with it back against the wall. Now I'll just quickly come back to this because it's really important that you travel with your blinds open, because Dometic don't warrant their windows if you travel with them closed. So that's just something to keep in mind. You've got your fire smoke alarm up here. We've got the TV aerial over here. If you watch my other YouTube clip on how to set up your TV, I explain all of that in that one there. Your air conditioner up here, very much the same as what you would find at home. All your remotes and things are in the top drawer of the kitchen. So just read your manuals, very simple to use. We'll come through this here, this cupboard here is where your central hub of the caravan is. It's what tells you what everything is doing within the caravan. So we'll start with the red arc. The red arc's pretty simple to use. I just press down on it. It's telling me how much battery charge I've got and that the current rate of charge, how many days I've got until it's full. It's telling me here how many volts are coming in from the sun, from the a 240 source and from a car source. In this case, I'm not plugged into anything else, so I've just got the sun coming in. This one is telling us where that power is being distributed to. Really handy screen, this one, so that if you've ever got any battery consumption issues, you can certainly have a look here, and it's telling you how much you're drawing from your batteries. There's lots of things like your battery temp. And look, to be honest, there's heaps more settings with this. It's something that you're best off to read your manuals on, but that's the basic functions of it. You've got your instantaneous water heater here. Just with these water heaters, you need to make sure they are gas only. You also need to make sure that you're using the water at the temperature that you actually want to use it at. So what I mean there is, if I want to do the dishes, I'm going to put it all the way up to 51 degrees Celsius, and I'll just turn my hot to full hot and use it like that. If I then want to go and have a shower though, I don't want to shower at 51 degrees because it'll be scalding. So just change your temperature to what your desired temperature is. I normally shower about 43. Dean, he's a bit of a sook. He goes for about 40, 41. So just set it to your temperature, and then just turn your hot water tap to full hot, and try not to adjust the temperature because it'll just go back to cold to start all over again. These here are all of your water gauges. This one here will be your grey water, and these ones will be your other 2 like normal tanks and your filtered water. These ones here are your pumps. One will be for your main water and one for your filtered. And these ones here, you're just using these when you're free camping. You don't need to use those if you're plugged in at a caravan park, because you've got the mains water coming in at the caravan park. So only use those when you're wanting to draw the water up from under the caravan in a free camping situation. This stove switch here, that is purely for your electric hot plate. So if you want to run your electric hot plate, you've got to turn that on first, and then you can use your dog dials down here, sorry. Okay, then we've got the stereo up in this area too. You've got your power button over here on this one. If I can just, it was already on, that was silly of me. Okay, so I think it was. Anyway, power button there. This is the button that you press, if you want to release your screen altogether. This is the one to eject your disc. So just realizing that this here is your DVD player to your TV. Now, with these, you're pressing a button to then go through the fader and the balance cycles. The fader and the balance is how you get your speakers to go internally and externally. So the balance from memory is the one that brings it front to rear of the caravan, and your fader is what brings it internal or external or both. So you've just got to change your settings on that. You've got your range hood here. You can turn on the light. You've got 3 different fan speed settings, and then turn it back off again. Okay, we'll come down to the stove and the gas cooktops and oven here. This little gold button here, that is your gas isolation. So when that comes down and clips that shut, that has isolated the gas. It cannot come to this unit at all. So regardless of whether you want to cook on the cooktop, the grill, or the oven, you need to make sure that you've got that lid open before you try and use it. And then it's very simple to use. It's just push the button in and turn to wherever, and then you've got your igniter there where it works for you. So that's, just give it a few minutes before you close down that glass lid, and you're ready to go again. This is your filtered drinking water tap just here, and this is just for your normal. Up here you've got a microwave. There is everything that you should need to know. It's just going to be the same as what you find in any normal microwave at home. Just remember, it does only work on 240, same as the air conditioner. Okay, with this table here, it does drop down to a bed. So it's got a little handle here. That's how you can slide along, you can turn it, but you then, to get it to drop down to a bed, you have to use your foot on this black button here and push it all the way down into position. And then in this case, the cushion for the bed is under, like to make it into a bed, is under the main bed. And then when you're finished, just bring it back out and release the table back up again, and you're ready to go. Okay, let's move on to the hatch above us here. So these ones, you have to press these red buttons and turn the handle, and then you simply can put it up to wherever, to your desired settings. You've got these here that magnetize shut, and then you can slide across for the fly screen, and then you've just got to separate the magnet at the end. When you're finished, if you're tall enough, not quite like me, you just pop it back into position and make sure you lock those catches there. You have got your light switch just here as well, that's separate on that unit. This fridge is a compressor fridge, so it's only going to run off 240 and your batteries. Now, with these, to turn them on or off, you have to press and hold the button and it will turn off. Now, I'm not going to hold it for long enough because I want it to stay on at the minute. Then once you get it to this point and you've got it here, if you just press it once, it gives you the option to choose what settings you're going to change. So there's not many to change on these fridges. It's just changing your temperature to the desired temperature, and really that's about it. There's obviously other functions, but not something you generally have to use. So just read your manuals on that one. We've then got the kids end. This is all pretty simple. You've got the same Sirocco fans as what we found in the other end. You've got your USB points over there. You just got to simply turn the face of that, and that one's easy. You've got the concertina door here, so you just need to unclip that and then slide it across, and it magnetizes shut. And then obviously when you're going to travel again, just make sure that you've got your bit secured around to hold it in place. This door, as well as the shower door, have a lock, so you just need to close them and open them as such. Okay, once you're in here, you've got your hatch up here that is just as simple as turning the handle. You can then put air in with the positive button, or you can take air out with the negative button, and the 0 or the circle is how you turn it off, and then obviously just wind it back down again once you're finished, ready for travel. It does also have its own light that you can turn on and off. The toilet. This one's a fun one for most people. Okay, so the way to use the toilet, you have to pull out on that silver handle there. That's what opens the hatch so that you can do your business. Once you've finished, flush by pressing on there. Now you need to make sure you do have your pump turned on if you're free camping, or if you're connected to water, it's going to use that water source as well. It's got a few lights that can come up. This one here is if you've got an issue with your canister. This one if you've got a water issue. This one if you are nearly close to full, and this one when you are full. So just be aware of those buttons, those lights, sorry, on there. And then just make sure you close that before when you're finished and you're ready to travel, or just to keep the smells in. Now with the shower head, we always suggest you don't travel with the shower head up, so either secure it with something or put it down onto the floor into something. Everyone's got different ideas of how they do that, but just best not to travel with it up because it can damage the caravan. Now the ladder for the bunk is just down here. I'll grab it out. Very simple to use, probably don't really even need to show you, and you can put it wherever you like. Just make sure we take it off to travel though. I always suggest just laying it on one of the kids' beds. And then make sure you've locked everything up. Now this is the USB that I forgot to show you. So it's just simple, flick it across, use it, close it back up when you're not using it. This one does have a diesel heater, but I will do that in a separate video as well. So let's go outside and I'll show you the outside function. Alright, so starting with the door, to separate this door from the one solid piece that it is at the moment, you just have to lift the handle up and separate it like that, and then you've got your crim safe mesh just there, and it's just a 3-point locking mechanism, so you just got to make sure you clip it shut, and then it's got its little catch there that was holding it up against the wall of the caravan, and that's it done. Pretty simple. Just beside here you've got a light that's within your grab handle, so the button's just up in under there. I did forget to show you on this that you have got an inbuilt blind as well, so that's just right there. And one other thing I've just thought of, when you're inside the van, this is your lock here. Because I haven't got the door shut, I'll just have to press that, but you just simply push it down like that to lock it from the inside and unlock it. Alright, coming along this way, this is your gas bayonet point, so this is where you're going to fit your barbecue to. And this is, because this one has got airbag suspension, it has got an add-on fitting, so that if for some reason you ever have no battery, you can't run the actual air compressor within the caravan, you can manually input air that way. Okay, with the legs here, I'll just show you how to wind those and use those. Just got to give a little bit of upward pressure and pull out on that to then drop it down. It's got a few different settings that you can set it to, but up and down is always the best way to try and do it. You've then got this that needs to go onto there, and you just wind it accordingly. And then when you're finished, bring it all the way back up, and it's always best to travel with them facing backwards. In here you've got your slide for a Weber or whatever you might choose to put in here. Just need to use that yellow button to release it all the way out, and then just release it to push it back in and clip it back into place. Then you just close your handle like that. Okay, around the front here, this one has got a DO45 hitch on it. So this one's a bit more rugged for the heavier vans. So this at the minute is locked. So to unlock it, I have to just press that button. What I did then, I'll show you again. So I can flip it back like that to lock it, but to unlock it, I've got to press that button and lift that one to then slide it around like that. So that's a very simple one to use. They do come with the pin that you need for your car to fit onto this. Your handbrake, very simple, just press the button, lock it, pull it up into position. With your chains, just make sure, especially, I think it's pretty much law everywhere these days, but you need to have your chains crossed. It's the best and safest way to travel with your caravan. Jockey wheel, that's relatively self-explanatory. You've got a water tap outlet here, so this is not where you plug your water into, this is where you run water out of. I've then got here, I can get it to come around, this is your breakaway cable. So this just needs to go back onto the car and then back onto itself. That, what it does is, in the event that the caravan should fall off the back of the car for whatever reason, pull on that and it will activate the brakes to the caravan so it can't career off into other people. Okay, looking at the plugs now, you've got, this one's got a 12-pin flat plug for all your lighting and whatnot. The grey Anderson plug, that charges from the car to the batteries to be charging things like the fridge while you're driving. And then you've got your red Anderson plug, that's what charges and runs your electronic stability control. With this one, you need to make sure that when the ESC is plugged in, it glows green down here. So if it ever glows red, you need to, that means it's got a fault. So you need to disconnect this red Anderson plug just once, and just, if you then put it back in and it glows red again, please give us a call. Don't continue to take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. So the aim is to have it as green light all the time. The reason we do it this way on a red Anderson plug is so that if you know that you're going to travel down a path or a road that is really bumpy corrugations and things, disconnect this, because you know that those corrugations are going to make the van do a bit of wobbly sort of stuff. So we don't want that to be making the ESC unit fault. So take it out, and then when you're back on flat road again, plug it back in again. And then this one's for your reverse camera. I'll talk about that when we get to the other side, get to the back. This is where you're going to fill up for the diesel heater that I said, but I'll go back to that when I do the separate video for that one. Okay, so coming down, we've got a power inlet here. This is your hot water service, water fillers. With the water fillers, just make sure that you do it slowly. The water doesn't go in fast very well. It just wants to come back out at you. So just try and trickle charge, especially being a family van, I make it one of the kids' jobs to stand and fill the water tanks. That's why I do it. Okay, you've got your battery boxes down here. This is the inlet for the water. So if you're in a caravan park, you'll plug your hose in there. Just so that you know, if you ever need to do anything with your wheels, this here is the jacking point on the caravan. So always jack from that point only. You've got a grey water on this caravan. So at the moment, with that handle facing that way, the grey water is open and releasing any water that goes through it. If I turn it like that, that's storing it, so that in those national parks and places where you have to store your grey water, you just need to turn it like that, and then when you get somewhere and you can release the water again, just purely open that to do that. Jerry can holders. Okay, now you've got your bike rack up here. On this one, it's pretty simple. You just need to drop it down like that. You put your bikes on. There's a couple of arms on this one that need to be fitted, but they need to be fitted to suit your bikes. So we never do it at this point because it's something that everyone's bikes are different sizes and different setups. So you'll need to put your arms on up there, put your bikes in, these go over the wheels. There's instructions and whatnot for that as well. And then just make sure you push it up at the end. You've got your external shower here, very easy to use, hot and cold tap, very similar to what you'd find anywhere else. I'll do the awning in a second because I'm just going to go through the rest of it first and leave the awning till last. That there on this fan is the airbag suspension. This one is your toilet. So to use the toilet, like to empty it or do whatever you need to do, you've just got to, you do have to be relatively firm, and Dometic have said that you need to try and keep it as flat as possible because they are a little bit of a tricky one. If you don't have it on the right angle, it won't come out, and that's how it's meant to be. Okay, so with these, when you need to open the canister for whatever reason, whether it be to clean it out or whatever, you just need to open that top hatch and then you turn, I can never remember which way I have to do this, turn it that way. I went in a clockwise direction then. That's how I can access that little hole. I use the toilet liquid, so with that I would be putting it through here. If you're using the capsules, you can do that from inside. Then you just got to close it back again. If I can get my fingers to work today, I can't. I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, when I want to empty it, I'm going to open the cap and then just be tipping like that. Now this button here is a vacuum seal button, so it's going to stop the water from glugging out and potentially splashing in your face. So you just got to press that so that it releases nice and freely, and put the lid back on again. It does also have a little handle that makes it into a nice little accessory for you to cut through the caravan parts. Okay, so then we slide that one back in, make sure it clicks into place, and then you're right to go again. There's keys in there for the picnic table. This one here is your entertainer's hatch. In here you'll find your aerial, your 12 volt USB power, and your AV cables. And you've also got the same sort of TV bracket that what you'd find inside. So that TV can just be purely mounted outside. Okay, I can't think of anything that I've forgotten at the moment, so I'll just do the awning. I think that might be the last thing. Okay, and we need to get out trusty little awning tool for this one. So the best way to do this, and I've had my cameraman help me out, I just need to swing that one to the side, and then there's a little black knob here that I'm just going to crack open a little bit. Don't undo it completely. Then with this end, I just want to pull down on the, I think it might actually already be down by the looks of that, and then I need to hook into this to give it a pull. I was right, it had already been opened. And I drag it all the way out to however far out I want to put it. You can slide this along to the end. Now I'll just do it on one end, but this is what you do to both ends. We flick it up till it comes past that point and you can hear it click into position. Once you've done that, so obviously you're doing it at the other end at the same time or on your own if you need to, you can use your handle here, slide it up to the desired height. Once you get it to that point, just put a little downward pressure on that and tighten up there. There's other things that people like to add on, curved roof rafters and such, but we don't have to have those on. Once you're finished, you're just going to release it all. So I can release it there, or I can do it, it doesn't really matter, you'll get your own little groove, but drop it all the way back down like this, and then we can release with that button there to drag it all the way back down. One thing I forgot to mention, if you ever want to put your leg straight up and down rather than having it come back to the caravan, it's pretty simple to do. You've just got to press that button there, and then I can just release that leg from the caravan and I can clip it back on there when I'm finished. So then to get the awning to all go back up in again, I just want to put a little bit of downward pressure on that barrel, flick that back to where it should be for the lock. I can then slide along, and I want to try and get it into the centre if I can, or close to, and then gently up. When you've finished, just make sure you clip those shut, tighten those back up, and you're ready for travel. Thanks for watching. See you later.